always seemed like some shit happened under the influence of alcohol with me and my friends or me and my woman, whoever that was, or whatever. Just bad shit, man. Alcohol never did me any good. So that's why I just don't fuck with it anymore. Um, what was he saying about that? Oh, emotions. Yeah, we're emotional creatures. You know that. But most of us, I think, if we were to react quickly from emotions, we wouldn't last very long. Most of us take a little bit of poking and prodding to get our emotions up. You know, I like to think of myself as someone that has to be really fucked with to get angry. It takes not one or two times, but three or four times, maybe five times, unless it's a bully. A bully I react to right away because I don't know any other way to deal with them. I know right away that I can't reason with a bully, and I wonder why should I waste time. So if it's verbal, on the radio, on the phone, I'll do it. I'll just say, look, here's what the fuck is up. You're a dick, you're an asshole, and I'm calling you that. Now what are you going to do? And they never do anything because the bully won't. Now you catch a psycho or somebody that's genuine and you just misunderstood them, they might show up at your doorstep. In which case, you either have to apologize or open up a can of whoop assery on them. But in person, the bully must be dealt with physically and either with numbers or with strength. And you got to show them who the boss is. And anytime in my past I've done that, I've always sat my ass back down after the bully left. I ain't trying to be an old alpha male all over the place. I just don't want anybody being a bully around me. What do you guys think about bullies? I could understand if someone were to make an argument. I like to play devil's advocate. We need bullies in society. They're natural leaders. We need people to come around and intimidate us like a social boogeyman of sorts to get our defenses up in practice. I could understand that argument. Doesn't mean I have to like them. Fuck a bully. I'm being honest about that. Apocalypse says Greeks are feta niggas. And I have never heard of a feta nigga, which is I have no idea what that is. Feta. Okay, yeah. I don't know my Greek language, so feta must be cheese. I've never heard of cheese niggas, though. I've heard of cheese nips, but not cheese niggas. Mm, mm, mm. That reminds me, y'all. What about the 178 bullets fired into the black couple? What do you think? Let's hear it. I'm just taking it as a big picture component right now. You guys can analyze this if you want. But you combine that with everything else, and I think we're getting very close to a civil war in this country. I think the gears have started turning way down low on a fundamental level. They're twisting now. And the next step is the next step is organizing. So you're going to have the blacks that are interested in this fight, along with possibly other minorities, possibly some whites saying, look, I'm sorry, blacks, you've had enough. I see it. The cops are going to keep killing you no matter what. So it's time for you to go ahead and just start working on defending yourself at all times. I can see this coming. And then that's going to spill over. You know it's going to spill over. Some people think every male is a bully. That's a good point, Stabby. Yeah, I see that a lot in feminine type gatherings, even if it's not just females. But yeah, you got to be super duper passive, beta male, whatever, in order to not be thought of as a bully. And I see there's a fine line there. I mean, actually, I respect men that are men, without being imposing. I think maybe that's the fundamental difference between a bully and a manly man. Imposing, arrogance, but really imposing. It's, I'm going to get into your life. You had a path you would have walked tonight without me here. I'm going to change that path in some way. I'm taking your lunch money. I'm going to tell you something that you need to do, or I'm going to tell you something you better never do. This is another thing I hate. You ever get threatened? Like you're just around somebody, maybe you got a new girlfriend and you meet her brother the first week you're going out and he says something like, you ever fucking hurt her, I'll kill you. Whoa, bro, back up, hold up. Now, if I gave you a reason to think I might do something, okay, now I understand that threat. But you can't extend me the common courtesy of believing that I am not a threat to her, and you're going to come threaten me up front? I don't like that. That's very disrespectful. I grew up with four sisters, and I never threatened any of their boyfriends or husbands. It's just, they didn't give me a reason to. So, I don't like that shit. Don't come up with a preemptive threat on me. Because I will tell you, look, you do what you have to do with your threat. I don't like threats. Either act on it or get the fuck out of my face. It's disrespectful. It assumes that you might do something terrible. And that's not a very nice assumption to make about somebody that you don't know and that someone close to you has found attractive and they like them. I don't like it. Andrew finally talks. He says, I don't like bullies, but what I really hated was if you stood up for someone and they did nothing to help. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I've been in that situation before. You know what it is, Andrew? If you stand up to help someone who's being bullied and you notice they don't respond and kind of jump into the fight with you, their belief is you're not going to be around one day, and it only takes one day for this bully to catch up with them again. So whatever they do on this day, even though they've got you on their side now and relative strength on their side, they know that if they're caught alone, they'll have to pay a heavier price than if they had just laid down and taken whatever the beating was, verbal or otherwise, that they were going to get anyway. I'd rather die than be bullied daily. Definitely. Not a question in my mind at all. I mean, you can imagine somebody who might act like they're tough against bullies, then they get in a couple fights and get their ass whooped and like, okay, you can bully me. You know, they're not saying that, but they're thinking it. Not me. I'd fight that fucker every fucking day till one of us, either I was dead or he quit. One of the two. I think bullies can be very subtle. I think corporate bullies are becoming more and more common, and they may be, some of them may be psychopaths. It stands to reason. I mean, you look at the characteristics of a bully and a psychopath, and you can draw a bunch of parallels right off the bat. Not really concerned about the feelings and lives of others. It's all about me. It's all about number one. And an inability to feel empathy. I mean, these types of people in corporate positions, it's funny because American Psycho is one of the best movies I've ever seen. It did go over the top, you know, as the movie went on, but it's one of the best I've ever seen to describe what I had learned a psycho would act like in a corporate scenario. Right down to the fine details of the business card. That's very important to a psycho. That's me on that business card. That's image. That's, look at the fine material that it's made of. Look at the fine material of my suit. I wax my face every night with a very specific cream, and I use a very specific hair gel. And then he ends up walking up to a bum in the alley and stabbing him in the fucking stomach. I bully RD. RD bullies Stabby. Stabby bullies me. It's a good circle. Yeah, it sounds like a fun circle jerk, but oh, you read the book, huh, Andrew? Andrew is incredibly well read and seen every movie. You know, I went to watch that movie you recommended, Andrew, Black Knight or Dark Knight or Black City or something, and realized as soon as I turned it on that I'd already seen it. And I was like, fuck, because I thought this was going to be something like The Matrix, and then, oh, I'd already seen it. I hate that when you go to a movie and think you haven't seen it, but my short-term memory sucks so bad that even looking at the cover, I didn't recognize it until the first scene started playing out. Oh well. You hear the cracks in my voice. Yeah, my voice will crack. When I get fired up and ready to fight, I'll fucking be shaking. That's just adrenaline. It's just ready to be spent. Let's go. Yeah, Dark City. That's right. The book was better. I'm sure Andrew's talking about American Psycho there. Or is it American Psycho? I'll tell you what, the second one sucked. What was her name? The girl that played in that 70s show? She played a female psycho. I mean, I don't know, it sucked. You think all bullies are victims behind the veil, Kev? I don't think that's necessarily true, RD. I think it happens sometimes. They've been hurt and they want to hurt in return. What a immature and narrow-minded thing to do. Well, I've been hurt, so I need to go impose that pain on others. Well, really? You can't stop the cycle. You gotta keep it going. You gotta be a link in a chain. Yeah, well, that's too bad. But yeah, I believe bullies typically act out of a sense of retribution for something they believe they have been given an injustice about. But they can also just be fucking psycho and think they're the boss and have no pain in their past, no real pain. You know, it doesn't have to come from a place of pain or abuse. I think maybe just power tripping. You know, you look at a typical bully in a school, they're big, strong kids. So they've got that going for them. But, and then they intimidate a couple of kids playing around and they feel the power and like, holy shit, I got something here. Next thing you know, they're Mike Tyson. But I'm Buster Douglas up in this bitch. That's right. I'll get you in the 10th round. I'll take my time. I'll let you knock me down in the 8th round. Kevin, it's time you watch The Highlander. I will give you some links later. I think I got it, Apocalypse, because I got Debbie Daly shared with me in her chat one night a certain link that went to a certain movie site, and it is not entirely legal or moral, but and I can't justify it. What I should do is either sign up for Netflix or go pay the rental fee. That's the legal and correct thing to do. But it's not always how I find myself behaving. And it isn't a victimless crime, and I know it's not. I used to believe that, but I don't know how I justify it. So many people do it. Maybe that's how I justify it. Or I'm genuinely poor, and I am. It's not like I'm stashing 300-400 here, a couple thousand there, and just pretending to be poor. No, yeah, it's not the case here. So maybe that's how I justify it. Yeah, I go look at a free movie because I don't have any money. Well, I don't walk into a grocery store and grab a steak because I don't have any money. So if it just depends on how you look at it. I need to stop doing that, but I don't know. I've missed so many movies over my life, and some of them are on YouTube. I mean, so really I'm not stealing them. They're copyrighted, but they're up anyway, so I just watch them while they're up. What do you guys think about that? What kind of moral degradation is involved in a man's mind when he has decided to watch a movie illegally or play a game illegally? Like, I've got games right now, like, for example, Silent Hunter 4. I bought it from Steam. Silent Hunter 4 U-Boats add-on. I paid for it from Steam. It's a legal copy. So sometimes, maybe that's how I justify it. Sometimes I pay for the digital stuff. Sometimes I don't. How you guys feel about that? Is it really... I got a feeling within 20 years, it'll be almost a sin to steal anything digitally. Whereas it was the Wild West back in 2015. And you could, if you can find some cattle, you can take them. Yeah, most stuff is free. Stabby says, I used to do it much more. I don't because I don't want to fuck up my computers with torrents. I don't blame you, Stabby. I've had everything from ransomware to malware to spyware to adware to fuckware to dickware to vaginaware tear up my computers and, from stuff like that. And you get tired of it after a while. And then you go, okay, what's that say? Andrew says, Kevin, watch Lulu on the Bridge. Let me know. Lulu on the Bridge. I got to go mark that now real quick. There was a movie about Australia I wanted to watch that had, I'll bet Andrew knows this right off the top of his head, war movie about Australia. Brad Pitt. I'll bet you already know it. I can't remember the name of it, though. All right, I'm searching for that so I can mark it. I wanted to just talk about one more thing here very quickly. Do you have what it takes to be a millionaire author at the beginning of the show? Probably not. Somewhere in here's a number I want to share with you. The whole point of this article is here's a guy who has sold 270 million copies, but he still rises at 5:30 a.m. and works 13 hours, 14 hours. So for people to get famous, they have to get nearly obsessive with their commitment. Is really what's going to happen. It's either that or you've got an amazing level of skill, and you can just fucking play with it when you want to. Let's see. Anne Rice, author of blah, 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 writes 15 to 20 pages per day. Man, I don't write that many pages on a good day in my books. I might get 4 or 5 pages done, and then I'll jump to 15 chapters. Listen to this. Here's the number I wanted to share with you. Less than, I'm going to see if you can guess. I'm not going to tell you the number. Less than how many authors in the United States have sold over 1 million copies of their books since Nielsen Bookscan started keeping records in 1986? So in the past 30 years, how many United States authors do you think have sold over 1 million copies of their book? Any one of their books? We'll see who can guess it in the chat room. How many U.S. authors have sold more than 1 million copies of any of their books in the past 30 years? Because all of the stuff that I read with the new authors coming up, they think they're going to be that millionaire. They're going to be a millionaire. They're going to sell 1 million, 2 million copies of their books. And if you're doing that 99-cent price, you get to sell a few million to become a millionaire. Stabby says 12 or 23. Well, the number they give in this article is 70. Only 70 authors in 30 years. 2 authors per year have managed to sell